and it might be this computer. I might need to start streaming on a different computer here in the boudoir. We will have to see. Hopefully this doesn't happen again. I hope everyone I lost comes back. I'll give it a few moments. I see one of you is back. But in any event, we have a jam-packed show. I'm not sure how much we're going to be able to get to, but we're going to try to get to most of it. Now, the first thing I have up is first, I want to give a compliment to the National Libertarian Party, which I don't do very often these days, but this is actually more of a compliment to staff. I see Wayne's getting the garage door open, and staff has been fantastic, and I believe it's Larissa Gaughan who is in charge of this. But go check out lp.org website. There's been a refresh, and it looks very, very nice. Before, like, the certain members of the world start to go, oh my God, look how productive they are now that the mouthy secretary is gone. The refresh of the website was also something that was already in planning. I had been talking with Larissa about it. But if this is, in fact, her handiwork, she did a great job. Thank you for your service, Larissa. So go check it out. But on the LNC list, which I finally resubscribed to after taking some time off for trauma, there's a lawsuit, actually an amicus brief that we filed that I'd like to go over. And I've highlighted some things in it. You guys know I have a legal background, and I want to give you some even further background that goes back 4 years. So let's pull up this lawsuit. You may have seen it. And in here, I'm kind of crowded, so you might see my face get really close to the camera as I'm trying to read this lawsuit from here. But here we go. I have it up on my screen. I'm going to pull it up on a different program. Whoop, wrong one. On my end where I can see it better. And why isn't this coming to the forefront? All right, so this is the Libertarian Party of Ohio and Harold Thomas versus a bunch of people. This is an appeal to the Supreme Court. So this has already been through lower courts. This has been going on a while. But we're going to go over some points with it. And I'm going to get through the table of contents to the interest of the amici curiae. For those of you who don't know, that just basically means friends of the court. It's people who are interested in the case that file supporting briefs for the court's... Whoops, that's the wrong one. I want to go next page. Here we go. Wrong thing. Do I not have next page on here? Run scene, run scene. Haha, I never put next page, so we'll have to do it manually. All right, here we go. Why isn't it showing my highlights? Interesting. Well, I believe it's this page under Interest of Amici Curiae. And again, everyone, remember, this is participatory. I would love to see your comments. You know what? I'm just going to show you my screen because I have highlights on my screen that aren't appearing here. And I think it would be useful to see them. So let's close that out. Let's close this out. Yeah, let's just look at what I'm looking at so you can see my highlights here. The Libertarian National... Now, okay. There's a reason I am highlighting this first paragraph. This is much better than we used to do. So it says, the Libertarian Party National Committee is the governing body of the Libertarian Party, the third largest political party in the United States. All of that is, in fact, correct. The Libertarian Party was founded in 1971 to elect candidates at all levels of government who support the principles of liberty set forth in the party's statement of principles. This is a much better statement than we used to file. I could still quibble with it because our purpose is not just to elect candidates, but since this is a case about electing candidates, I think this is fine. However, whoops, just bumped my mic. That's not exactly accurate, but the reason this introductory paragraph is so much better than it used to be is because about 4 years ago, yours truly threw a fit about this case, which I believe is the Husted case. Is that what we have here? Yes. Okay, I want to make it a little bigger. Let's go to where, if I remember correctly, again, I'm going back in memory 4 years. Here we go. Check this out. The Libertarian Party, the third largest political party in the United States, was founded in 1971. Now check out what our lawyer used to say. To promote the principles of liberty set forth in the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution. I threw a fit because not everybody in the party is a constitutionalist. Our platform is not founded on the Constitution. We are founded on the Statement of Principles. So I am very glad, let me pull this back up, that this is what we now say, and you can thank me for that. I know the LNC doesn't like to give me credit for very much lately, but our legal filings are much better because of me. And I have to give myself credit because no one else will. All right, let's continue. I just wanted to show you guys that, but let's look at the facts of this case. Why is it putting these weird little black boxes there? All right, the interests of these amici, there's multiple minority parties there, and also the Coalition for Free and Fair Elections, are frequently implicated by state election laws, including those that burden candidates and voters who seek to participate in the political process without joining the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. Accordingly, these parties frequently must present their views on such issues to the courts. For example, the Libertarian Party and its state affiliates have repeatedly presented their views on such issues to this court. And it gives some examples. And by the way, if anyone does dispute that opening paragraph was changed because of me, I do have the email chain in 2017, which proves it. Hopefully, people now learn I don't make claims without receipts. I do have the receipts for the claim that I am responsible for this. Oh, and as a reminder, because I had the weird interrupted stream, these shows tend to be a bit long, and I do so much appreciate super chats, which are basically tips to your host for thank you for your service, sort of thing. I will be taking a look at comments in a moment, which I do interact frequently with comments, so please put them up on the screen. And I don't require super chats to interact with comments. I try to interact with all relevant comments. I don't believe in pay to play in a channel of my size. All right, let's continue. Summary of argument. Whoop, I went too far. Ohio Revised Code, numbers, categorically excludes members of minor parties from serving on the Ohio Elections Commission. This is not unusual, by the way, maybe for election commissions, but we have something similar in Colorado. I can't remember what commission it's on, but it basically said you have to be one of the two major parties or an independent. All minority parties are excluded. It does so pursuant to a major party requirement, which precludes anyone who is a member of a political party other than the Republican Party or the Democratic Party from serving on the Elections Commission. This seems worse than Colorado. It does not even allow independents. And I'm taking a look at the comments. Oh, thank you, Pat. I love you too. Enjoy. Yeah, the newer statement is not only much cleaner, it's actually accurate. I should have brought up that email. I had a royal fit over it. If you go to the 2017 archives and just look for the word Husted, because that's the case, you can see the fit that I threw. I don't think Oliver Hall recovered from that because I'm not so sure he understood what we were all about until that time. And it's not a criticism of him. A lot of people, outsiders, because I don't think he's a libertarian. He's intimately associated with us, but I'm not sure what our lawyer's political affiliation is. It doesn't matter as long as he's a good lawyer. And for outsiders, they often do think we're a constitutional party, even though we're not. As such, the major party requirement violates this court's long-settled precedent in validating statutes that condition public service on patently arbitrary or discriminatory grounds. If a requirement like this were applied to impose a prohibition against Republicans or Democrats serving on Ohio's election commission, there would be little doubt as to its unconstitutionality. Isn't that the case? Time and time again, this court has held that the Constitution does not permit the federal or a state government to condition public service, either as an elected official, an appointed official, or an employee, solely upon the official or employee's political affiliation. To me, this case is so clear. It says this court's ballot access jurisprudence is instructive. In 1968, when the court first ruled on the constitutionality of a state ballot access law, it concluded that the state cannot restrict access to the ballot in a manner that, in effect, tends to give Republicans and Democrats a monopoly on the right to have people vote for or against them. But isn't that what we are seeing everywhere? Here, the major party requirement does not merely tend to give Republicans and Democrats a monopoly on the right to serve on the election commissions. It imposes an absolute categorical prohibition against all other political parties from serving in that capacity. That Ohio accomplishes this impermissible purpose by restricting eligibility for appointment to public office rather than by restricting access to the ballot is of no moment, because constitutional protection extends to those who seek appointed office. Okay, then it goes on to talk about quote-unquote good government justifications, which just makes me want to throw up in my mouth. There's no such thing as good government. There's only more harmful and less harmful government. So good government justifications for the major party requirement, such as balancing out political party representation, should therefore be treated with skepticism. The major party requirement does not further Ohio's asserted interest in a politically balanced government, but rather assures an election commission narrowly confined to members of two, and only two, political parties. And there is ample reason to conclude that those two parties, who have jointly imposed the major party requirement upon their fellow citizens, did so to further their own partisan interests rather than any legitimate state interest. And they go on then to quote academic scholarship, which agrees. I think that, they go on to quote a bunch of scholars and Ola H. Reardon. But I think you get the gist of what this case is. It seems pretty clear-cut to me. We should win it. I will keep you posted. I like to do the legal analysis. Okay. Now I'm going to give you just some personal trivia on me. I think that's what's next. There might be a video next, but I think this is about me. I told you guys, let me take a sip here. Let me just go back here. Take a sip of, why isn't it going back to my full screen? Huh. One sec. Or is it? Oh, it is, and I just don't see it. I'm such a goonie boonie. Right, here I am. I don't know what a goonie boonie is. I've had too much to drink. Mimosas are delicious. And who let the dogs out? Hear those dogs? Oof, oof, oof. Okay, sorry. Not sorry. I had said I was going, hi, cowboy. I said I was going to be looking in newspapers.com for the political involvement of the 16-year-old Karen Ann, and after which I then became supremely uninterested in politics for decades. But I was a little rabble-rouser as a child. I didn't think I was a child when I was 16, but I was a child, and I wanted to show you guys what I found. And I told you, it's super embarrassing because, it was my very heavy metal stage, so I'm in spikes and a weird-ass skull and crossbones headband. I got this crazy hair. I got this jean jacket with all these rock and roll buttons on it, and I just thought I was cool as shit. Didn't realize how ridiculous I looked. But here's a picture from the newspaper. Of course, it's black and white, but got it from newspapers.com. But there I be. Check me out. How many belts do I have on? But look, but the face, isn't that the same face I give at convention when I was giving my nomination speech about how I was going to root out corruption on the LNC? It's the same face. The same face. And you can see, you can tell, hopefully you can tell even from the poor picture that's me. The same very high cheekbones, the same nose. But look at all those buttons. And I swear I've got 10 belts on. And down there at the bottom, it's one of those belts with the bullets on it. You probably, they're just casings. But you probably wouldn't be able to wear that at school today. And I bet you and there's that cross on around my neck. I bet you all of those well, 90% of those buttons are Iron Maiden because I was such an Iron Maiden fan. So it says, students work over candidates, and I certainly did. Yeah, there's more buttons than jacket. So I excerpted out the story. Lori Paris. So there's me, my maiden name, and I didn't go by Karen Ann at that time. I started using my middle name when I got divorced because I wanted to remake myself like a phoenix. So back then, that was my maiden name, was Beauvais is how it's pronounced. So it said I had a beef. What was my beef? My 16-year-old beef that a no grade policy was in effect for students, blah, blah, blah. And I go on. And it talked about how if you miss a class, it shouldn't be like a failing grade. I kept a very good grade point average still with missing classes. I had a lot of family problems going on at the time. I said I had work and other things. I said because of my work, I sometimes had to miss school. And I did work. I had to support a lot of supporting myself. And I had a very troubled family life. But here's something I said, which is funny. I said, this is a political era where a vote will determine whether you're bused 10 miles to school or can walk. Students need to be educated politically. Oh boy, there's the little activist that I was going to turn out to be again in my 50s after dropping out for 30-something years. So I thought you guys would find that amusing. I found some other stories about me in the papers, but most of it had to do, as I told you last show, that I was very much involved with horses, and it had to do with, just checking because I thought Wayne walked in, with horse shows that I was involved in. All right. Also, now a friend of mine, who goes by Libertarian Revolution, who's in comments a lot, sent me a video of how he got hassled. He's a petitioner. He does that for a living, and how he got illegally hassled while trying to petition. And what he had said to me, which I thought was very poignant, is that the Libertarian Party, or the LNC, let's blame the LNC, not the party. The party is fantastic. It's only the LNC that sucks. That the LNC had so much time to try to remove their mouthy little secretary, but they barely lift a finger to help our petitioners. So let's take a look at the video he sent me.
Misapplying the law.
Okay.
But I'll take your information anyway.
That's not me. That's the chief legal counsel.
Okay, and you just need to know the name of the officer.
Reed Miller.
Reed Miller. Okay.
All right, so it's just short, but he's getting hassled. He gets hassled all the time. And hello, Johnny Lookaba. Okay, so now with that, we are going to go into the People's Party. I'm not sure how many of these clips we're going to get through. It's been about a month and a half since I did an update on them. And I'd like to give some full disclosure on some other involvement I'm having with the People's Party. Those of you may know I am studying to be a registered parliamentarian, and I will be working as a parliamentarian, at least part-time. It'll be one of my multiple streams of income, hopefully. Right now, this channel's my only stream, so be generous. Tip your waitress. Oh, super chats are welcome. Okay, but back to the parliamentarian thing. I will never charge libertarians. Well, I don't want to say never, because there might be some huge project that I just can't possibly volunteer for. But as a general rule, it will be my practice not to charge libertarians. I have served as convention parliamentarian for the Libertarian Party of New York, the Libertarian Party of Kansas, and the Libertarian Party of Florida, and I have not charged them. They get me there, they put me up. I do not charge for parliamentary services for libertarians, and hopefully I will be able to continue that. Hello, Stephen Ecker. Now, though, since I am interested in politics, I do hope to work for other political parties, just like our convention parliamentarian, most of you may not know, Richard Brown, is not a libertarian. He's a Republican. So he donates services to the Republican Party. He charges the Libertarian Party. I hope to do likewise. Maybe not to the Republicans, but it will be to some other political party. Some members of the People's Party, I don't want to say what state affiliate because I don't have their consent to do so, asked me to take a look at their bylaws and give some opinions. So full disclosure, I am doing some volunteer work right now to build my resume with an affiliate of the People's Party. There is full disclosure to them that I'm not a political ally, that I am in fact a political opponent, but that is often a plus because I have no factional loyalty to anyone in their party, and I have an ethical obligation to give them an honest opinion. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I may end up doing parliamentary work for the People's Party, and that is perfectly fine with me as a professional. But just so that you know. But let's go on now, and it's for a state affiliate, not for, and it's not Colorado, by the way, and it's not for the National Party. They have the state affiliate that I'm dealing with has a healthy suspicion of the National Party, and I was like, yes, smart people. All right, so let's go on now with our opposition research on the People's Party.
So, when we
let me
took the
stop
steps,
here.
I'll give a little.
I want to stop 1 second. I'm going to be putting on my makeup, obviously. I want to raise the volume on this, I think. Is it playing? Hold on. Not here, but is it?
And then Paula Jean.
Okay, yeah, it is. All right. I just wanted to make sure you guys had volume on that because it didn't look like I had a little caution symbol there. I'm going to be putting on my makeup because I am doing, I think it's Liberty Late Night. I got to look up the name of that. Oh my God, I feel like so stupid. You know what? Let me look that up while I'm here because I feel like I'm being so disrespectful to these kind people who invited me on their show, and my old brain isn't remembering the name properly. And I want you guys to be able to tune in. I think it is live. It might not be, but in either event, you can look up the show. So I'm looking up my invitation email. Liberty Late Night. Okay, so yeah, that's where I will be appearing. So now let's continue as I put on my makeup. And let me tell you, they're going to explain this red bandana later, but I just thought he just looked like a freaking German Shepherd. I don't like this guy, so he annoys me. It's like I don't dislike him. I don't know him. I don't like his politics. So sometimes like the shit-eating grin he gets just really just is like punchable, you know, but I'm a pacifist, so I don't punch people, but, you know, punchable. But let's continue.
In a day, and others who were there on the steps are going to share a bit about what happened as well. And so when we took the steps that Monday, we got a very different reception from the one that the squad got just a few weeks earlier. We were greeted by a battalion of police, probably more police than were guarding, it looked, than were guarding the entire Capitol on January 6th.
Okay, I'm just going to stop there, dude. Did any of you get shot and killed? No? Then shut up about January 6th. I mean, really. He's going to go on to talk about how they were hassled, and they were hassled. But unless one of you got shot and killed, don't be comparing yourself to what happened on January 6th. And you guys didn't storm anything either, from what I understand. You just took over the steps, which is a perfectly peaceful protest. But I just get really triggered by comparisons to January 6th.
So we were there. We gave speeches on the steps. We took the steps. They eventually came out and surrounded us for using a bullhorn, and they arrested myself, Paula Jean, and also Martin, who was there, who's a gentleman who actually was the one in the viral video from last summer during the Black Lives Matter uprising, who was pushed by the cops and hit his head against a concrete sphere. And it was one of the most viral videos of the entire event. He got arrested with us, and so did Jackson Hinkle, who was streaming the entire time that we were holding the steps of the Capitol.
Okay, I couldn't find that video. Oh, I'm getting all shiny here. But yeah, if they got arrested, you know, good for him for getting arrested. You know, that's braver than I tend to be. Even though Adam Kokesh, though, gave me the hint on how you can avoid getting forced to be in a shower, because that's like my fear of getting arrested. He said just refuse to take the tuberculosis test and they'll stick you in solitary, which sounds fine to me. So now I don't have as much a fear of getting arrested, because I'm just like pathologically scared of being forced into a fucking shower with a bunch of strange women. All right. getting my foundation on here. So they apparently, did a protest at the Capitol, got arrested. There's going to be more on that, and they'll explain the really goony outfits. And you are correct. It looks like all he's missing a banjo and a straw hat. Oh my God. All right, let's continue.
We are moving away from whatever justice is supposed to be. And we look at what's happening right now with AOC and the buzz of her being at the Met Gala, and she wore her boozy dress, and oh, it was a gift. But Black Lives Matter protesters were outside getting beaten, and they were getting arrested. She could have took her boozy ass dress outside and got arrested with the rest of the people that were actually standing up for something. But if you look at the videos, she was a prima donna. We were supposed to be electing elected officials, not celebrities.
All right, I don't know why I find it so funny. I'm trying to get out all of my little things here. That they are just turned on AOC. Like, everyone thinks like AOC is the commie darling, but they're not fans because she really has not supported them. She's turned into a politician. It turned into a bureaucrat, like many members of the LNC. So I just found it funny the way they were criticizing that Eat the Rich dress that she wore to the Met Gala as bougie. I just thought that was hilarious. So she thought she was just being so edgy and so commie and so progressive. And the commie party here thinks she was just a bougie little snob. So I just got a big kick out of that. I'm just blending in my contouring here because I am going on another show. So I want to make sure I have a nice face, Get this all blended in here. Let's go on to the next one.
There are more homes available across the country. There's more housing available than there's 3 times more housing available than there are people who are houseless and who are homeless. There is absolutely no reason in this country that there are people without a comfortable living. I'm not talking about a box on the sidewalk like in some of these places, or a free tent. I'm talking about a home where people can cook a meal, and they have heating and air conditioning, and they have, a bathroom and a shower and a kitchen, comfort and housing. And that's what we were demanding for all.
I'm just laughing at that guy in the background who's just hanging out in the bed. Okay, but yeah, you're demanding this for all. And you say there's absolutely no reason why we have more housing than people who have houses, and there's no reason they shouldn't have those houses. I can think of one really quick reason. They don't belong to those people. That seems like a reason. So what are you suggesting here in your demands? Forced redistribution of housing? You just steal it from the people who have it and give it to the people who don't? I've played a very similar clip before, but I find the implications very, very disturbing. They're not stopping with Medicare for all. This is why I call them commies, even though they don't call themselves commies. God, I don't like all this lighting that's just making me very shiny. They will not stop. They will not stop. Pretty soon, it will be equal food for all. It's forced equalization, which will just make everyone equally poor and equally miserable. It doesn't work. It's immoral, but it also doesn't work. Those of you who are my patrons know we've been going through the Radicals for Capitalism and the battles in the early libertarian movement between utilitarianism, it doesn't work, and deontology, it's immoral. And in most libertarian arguments, there's going to be a little bit of both. Because the nature of reality is doing what is honoring to rights is what works. So this is both. It doesn't work and it's immoral. Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking a little more colorful now. I don't look quite as pale. Let me take a quick look at the comments here. Yeah, he always looks that sallow, Joy, but it could be the lighting. I don't really want to criticize since this lighting I have doesn't make me look particularly great. But yeah, he always looks quite sallow. And Alexander, hold on, I got something that is hiding my comments here. Let me move this over. Just the proletariat against the bourgeois. Yeah, as I said, commie. Let's continue.
Part of and I also want to say that the reason that we take action like this and that we have that dual track philosophy as the People's Party of direct action and organizing and electoral work is that the actions really bring people in. Doing actions like Occupy Congress, doing actions like Force the Vote, doing actions like Before Then Rally for a People's Stimulus last July. We never get the times when we have the most people come in, the most people get excited about what we're doing, the most people wanting to volunteer is then.
And I included that because that is a lesson the LP needs to remember, where we keep, you know, and I'm not meaning to pick on or overly pick on Justin Amash, but, you know, he's trying to redefine the party as just being about electoral politics and not about activism. And that's not the way and I'm putting on my little guides here, the LP has ever operated, and it's not the way third-party politics work. You have to do both. This guy is, whoa, didn't mean to bump my mic there. This guy is absolutely 100% correct that it is the street activism that brings people in. That is who is going to replenish your dead, basically. The people that you've burnt out. Unfortunately, that's also part and parcel of third parties. And Alexander asked, is the red scarf the people's shtick? They're going to explain the symbolism of this red scarf in a bit. It was some historical event. I don't want to screw it up, so I'll let them explain it. But that is coming.
Is when we do actions. And the same thing is true for everyone who's organizing at the state level. And so it's important that all of us who are organizing across the country take action like this and make that one of the focuses of the party, because that's what brings people in. And that's also one of the things that people critique the Green Party and other efforts at new parties in the past of before, that they only kind of show up every 4 years, or that that they're not necessarily visible. And so it's incumbent upon us, and if we want people, working people, to come out and to trust us and to believe in us and to see the difference, then we need to show it viscerally in the way that only actions can.
He likes to throw shade at the Green Party and then deny that he's doing it. And I don't know. I've known the Green Party to be pretty activist, so, maybe it's different in other areas of the country, but he says that's a common complaint of the Greens. It's not a common complaint I've ever heard of, but it doesn't mean it's not common in other places.
Well, I think it was great, the end of Dan War's action, because there were so many diverse people out there that were fighting together. I want to reiterate on one thing before with the Battle Blair Mountain, if I may, as I didn't solidify the significance of the red bandanas. When the miners went to war, they wore red bandanas to separate themselves and know who the allies were and who wasn't. And that's where the term redneck come from with the labor struggles. But also with the end of damn wars, it was really, really good. We had a lot of people out there. There was a lot of diversity, and it really showed that we can show solidarity for each other, even if we don't agree on all the issues. It's really important if we all come together, we can actually fight this machine that's against us. And that's the elected officials in government that are beholden to corporations and lobbyists instead of us. And it was a really heartfelt and welcoming and warming experience to see so many people come together in such diverse ways to just come together for one purpose. And I think that we need a lot more of that within this movement across the aisle, and recognizing that we don't always have to agree and we can disagree. I remember one of my mentors saying, the battle between us is not bigger than the battle before us. And we have to remember that the true enemies are the people that are strategically designed in their demise. And that's the whole point, I think, of all of that, is not only to end the damn wars, of course, but also come together in solidarity and be there for each other in the way that we should be right now.
Okay, I didn't hit next scene. Here we go. All right. Good Thinkful Duck Speaker asks, I'm a bit late. What's this about? I don't know if you've ever been to one of these. I haven't done it in a while. It's a Get Ready With Me. I usually do this when I'm going to be going on another show later. And I'll just play some clips. And right now I'm doing I try to do this monthly, but it's my periodic opposition research on the People's Party, which is an up-and-coming third party, very progressive. I like to affectionately or not so affectionately call them my commie friends. So they do a bi-weekly national call. And that's what this is. It's the national call. So I like to listen to it to see what they're up to, since they so helpfully give us an update. And I'm just getting on some black that I'm going to blend in here. And Joy said she liked this shade of purple. So do I. It's a MAC palette, of course. Pretty and punk. And I love matte colors. But yeah, that is a great shade of purple. I also like the green a lot, too. And I like that it comes with a black. I mean, this palette is just fantastic. It's one of my favorite palettes. And they are like radical Democrats, basically. They despise the Democrat Party for being weak and compromising, basically.
I saw one in the chat before, and that was about someone asking about Andrew Yang, saying that he wanted to form a new party. So to me, it seems pretty clear that Andrew Yang is interested in running for president again. And he wants to form a party for the purpose of running for president again. Whether he has a vision that extends beyond that, I think we're very interested to see. I also think that, of course, it depends on what kind of party. We actually collaborated with his organization on the Rally for a People stimulus to press for Medicare for All and emergency assistance during the pandemic last year. And so it remains to be seen. Sometimes Andrew Yang has been a populist. Other times he has brought himself to the establishment in order to appeal, as he did during the New York City race. So let's hope that he's interested in forming an actual populist party. Of course, that's what we're doing. And as far as we know, in order to be successful, a major new progressive populist party has to be completely free of corporate money. And so we would have to see exactly what he's doing there. But Phil, I'll hand it over to you.
Yes.
See if there's any other questions.
Thanks. Just had a few glitches. Sorry about the delay. But yeah, in the thread of what you were talking about, the question was one of the other questions in the Q&A about...
okay, I want to just pause there a second. We spoke... Let me get this off to let this dry. We spoke yesterday, or at least I did, during when we were talking about the ballot access news about Andrew Yang wanting to start a new party and basically saying you needed to buy his book to read about it. And I was considering getting the book, but then I was like, that's not the best use of my money. I'll just find out when everyone else does. I'm really not interested in his universal basic welfare. But I also neglected to comment on the last clip where the lady was talking about end the damn wars and the diversity of support there was out there. And they ended up talking a bit about how there were libertarians out there supporting. That is something we can work on common cause with the People's Party. There are a lot of issues we can work on common cause with them on. Now, I do think they downplayed how much we differ on other areas. Like, she talked about, and I think there might be another clip on this, about how we just need to, form these coalitions to fight our common enemy, which is, the big corporations and the warmongers. But the thing is, our solutions are so different that we could form common cause in opposing, but that's about it, because our solutions are so radically different. They just want to create a larger enemy, just an enemy that serves them. They want a bigger state. I don't want any state. And that's like an irreconcilable difference there. But I can go out there. Oh, I don't like the way I got some block in there. I can go out there and protest against wars with them. Can certainly do that. So, yeah. But let's, I interrupt them. They're going to talk some more about Andrew Yang.
Third party he's trying to start or thinking about starting is what we've done to attract him or attract his supporters.
Well, we did that action that we collaborated on together. And his supporters, the Yang Gang, they are an awesome bunch. They're an awesome group. I do think that they, very similar to supporters of Bernie Sanders, actually, in speaking to a lot of them, have been disappointed in the kind of figurehead that that helped propel their movement and bring them together. Very much the same way that many supporters of Bernie Sanders and volunteers for Bernie Sanders are disappointed in the way that he isn't challenging the Biden administration and pushing it to the left. They're disappointed in the way that Andrew Yang has brought himself too much to the establishment in the New York City mayoral race and in general. And so I think there is a lot of room, and that's actually why members of the Yang Gang have joined the People's Party, and we've gotten along very well. And so hopefully we will have more people joining us from the Yang Gang. Of course, we welcome them with open arms. A basic income is something that we absolutely believe in. It's something that to give Yang credit for, he and the movement, the Yang Gang, credit for.
Say Yang Gang one more time and
really
pow,
put
right in the kisser.
The idea of a basic income on the map.
God, I hate that term. The Yang Gang, the Yang Gang. I mean, it's fine to say it once, but that 10th time I was just ready to kill somebody. Okay, you need to get those lips outlined. Okay. Alrighty. So, yeah. They'll talk about coalitions quite a bit. And for good, thankful duck speaker who may not know, these guys, particularly Nick Brana, who's the guy who keeps talking, these are the old Bernie bros. They became very, very disillusioned with Bernie and then went off and did their own thing. And I'll give them credit for doing that for certain. And check out this color. I always like to show off these. This is from, oh crap, Be Same Cosmetics. So it's all colors from like World War I and World War II. I just love it. It's all these like vintage colors that get revived. But look at that. I could just eat it. It's actually much darker than it looks in the light.
As did COVID. And so him running and the Yang Gang pushing for basic income, it shot from about anywhere from 40% support to about 82% support across the country for recurring stimulus payment checks. And people got a taste of, wow, the government can actually be helpful rather than just giving money to Wall Street. And so that's what made that massive difference.
Okay. Next.
All right. And
all right. I just want to fill in my lips a little bit. He likes to exaggerate percentages of support. If there was 80-something popular support for the basic income, we would have the basic income. And then notice the bait and shift he did also. bait and switch. I said bait and shift. Bait and switch he did between a UBI and recurring stimulus payments during a pandemic. Two totally different things. Okay, this was the call from the 16th. We're going to move on to the call from the 30th, which has more interesting information. That may have been the last question from the 16th.
All right. And someone was looking for a little more details on the arrest at the action on the Capitol steps. So you were arrested, 4 of you. What were you charged with, and do you have to appear in court?
Oh, man.
Do you recall? Are you going to break out the legit paperwork?
I'll break out the paperwork, yeah.
From what I recall, you were only held for a few hours, so not overnight. But didn't know, yeah.
They did. So exactly, I got the bag with me where they charged us. They did not hold us overnight. They held us for a few hours. They took us to a cell block and a police precinct on D Street. For anyone who's familiar with Washington, D.C., it's a few blocks away from the Capitol. It's used by the Capitol Police. And they arrested us for using a bullhorn, which there are literally photos all over the place of Cori Bush and the squad members using bullhorns and sound systems while they were there, even having a dance party. But when we used it, they came over and arrested us. And the charge was incommoding, which is ironic because obstructing, crowding, and incommoding, which, you know, and anybody who knows what that means, it knows that it means blocking people from moving in a certain area, or, you know, obstructing something. And we weren't doing that, clearly. There was no one else trying to get through except for the phalanx of cops that they sent after us. So it's all just bullshit. It's all just reasons to crack down on like working people who authentically come there in a non-scripted action to get something done in conditions that are even worse than when the squad was there just a few weeks ago.
It's funny how they see how the government abused them, yet they want more government. I just don't get that. I guess it's, you know, we'll do it right type thing. The faith that they have in government is not cute. It's not cute at all. It's not endearing. It's kind of gross. But yeah, that is ridiculous that they got arrested for using a bullhorn. Whatever happened to the right to petition the government for redress of grievances? I mean, a bullhorn's pretty standard. I mean, I'm taking him at his word, but I mean, I don't care for the guy, and I think he's a total commie, but I don't know him to be a liar.
All right. Had some people who had some suggestions for items they'd like to see added to the platform or voted on to be added for the platform. Is there a process in place, or what's the process for that?
Well, right now you can join our political outreach working group, where groups have been working on starting to lay the groundwork, creating proposals for platform items. So that would be the best way, is to get involved nationally there.
Right.
And I should say, too, that ultimately, as the People's Party right now, coming from 2016, many of us coming from the Bernie Sanders campaign, we adopted his 2016 platform as our interim platform, essentially, and that's the one that we've been organizing and working on. And then we will be collectively, as the members of the People's Party, forming a committee, a platform committee that will help draft and create the platform ahead of the founding convention, which will then become the final party platform, be voted on by the full membership, and that will be our People's Party, our official People's Party platform.
I would actually love to go to their founding convention. I might try to raise money to do that and live stream it, because I think that would be fascinating just to watch, even though, you know, it's a bunch of commies and I could, you know, make all my anti-commie commentary, but to watch a new, and I do think they are serious. They're going to be serious contenders. And I said from the beginning when I started watching these guys that they are a threat to the LP's position as the third largest political party. I hope I'm wrong. but I don't think I'm wrong. I've got a definite good instincts for these things, and they are motivated and they are organizing fast. But I would love to go to their founding convention. You guys can make it happen if you want me to go.
All right, excellent. And one last question asking about ranked choice voting. So, will there be ranked choices as third-party members? I'm not sure if they're talking about our internal voting processes, but it also sounds like they're talking about in elections in general, because it says that we won't have a chance if there isn't, ranked choice or star voting, which we're definitely working on. We're encouraging state parties where there is legislation to try and get ranked choice voting passed, because it definitely gives us and third parties in general the best chance of getting people elected. But didn't know if you wanted to speak on that a little more.
Yes, we are all for changing the actual electoral structure of this country, which is at the core of what is wrong with how our country works and why we have a two-party system in the first place. And so we have what most other countries around the world, an electoral system that is a complete aberration for the rest of the world, basically. We have first past the post voting, and what we need is multi-member districts. And we also have single winner districts, and we don't have ranked choice voting. So we need ranked choice voting, and we need proportional representation.
All right, I got my makeup done fast, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. Like, that's one of the better eyeshadows I've done, I think. I'd like to know y'all's input, but you can take a look at what I did underneath. I think that came out pretty well. I'm enjoying it. That is something we can definitely partner with them on, is ranked choice voting. So, and that, I always am looking to partner with the People's Party. I wanted to show you guys, though, something. If you notice, I got the stubs on because I really damaged my nails with my fake nails. And I'm just trying a couple weeks to let them heal. But let me tell you, it's killing me. And check out these tips that I ordered from eNail Couture. Look at these babies. Look at that. Ah! So let me show you what this would look like. Let me just hold it onto one of my nails. Look at that. That's how it would look. Isn't that fantastic? Look at the length. That is just a fantastic nail. So, just wanted to show you guys. These are custom gel nails. enailcouture.com. Really big, though. Really long. I'm not so sure how I'd be able to function. But I gotta let these heal a little longer before I put on some more nails.
Awesome. Thank you, Todd. And yes, we do have some amazing news, a really huge milestone in the development of the People's Party. And that is the first state where we have ballot access, as Todd said. That is Florida. Woo! Light up the map for Florida. Who would have thought such a controversial state would be the first one that actually gets ballot access for us? So we're super excited. This means that in Florida, candidates can actually run on the People's Party ballot line at all levels, from local office all the way up to the presidency.
Oh boy. So now they got their first state with ballot access. I mean, they are coming along. People last year were poo-pooing me, saying, oh, they're not going to get anywhere. They've got their first state with ballot access. This will be the first of many. So Florida is their first state, which surprises me it wasn't Colorado. Colorado has some of the easiest ballot access laws in the country. And weren't those some fantastic nails? Come on, guys. You got to admit, those were some fantastic nails. Oh, maybe I'm going on a surprise speaking engagement later this month, later in October. Maybe I'll wear those nails, because look, I can't stand these little stumps. Oh my God, they're terrible. But anyway, yep, Florida. So anyone here from Florida, please advise the LP of Florida. They probably know, but maybe they don't, that they now have competition on the ballot. The commies are on the march in Florida. And Keep Arkansas Legal said the LP needs to show up at events involving things like gun rights, lowering taxes, and fights against vaccine mandates. Absolutely, and we do that all the time in Colorado. I don't know what other states are doing, but we do that all the time in Colorado.
Somehow people weren't coming around like they used to.
Just so you know, this guy is the state chair of the People's Party of Florida, and he's explaining how they were getting more people involved because they started to stagnate.
Like they used to. And it seemed to us that it was necessary to get on the ballot, be a real party here in Florida, so that all the people that had expressed interest in joining us before would come forward and start being more active. So that's what we did.
Okay. So, yeah, they decided to take the plunge and really go for the ballot access because they thought that would motivate more people. And it does motivate more people. While the next clip is playing, I got to run and go get some earrings to put on, which is right behind this screen. So you'll see me disappear for a minute, but I'll be back like Arnold.
And when we filled out the voter registration, probably those of you who haven't done that in Florida yet, Florida makes you eat some humble pie first. It says you have to check off the box that says minor party, and then you have to write People's Party, apostrophe S. Make sure you have an apostrophe S in it, so they don't mess with us. And write that in. And so that kind of irked me, this business about minor party, because our long-term goal here in Florida is not to be like a minor party at all, but instead to be like a major party.
Okay, I find it funny that he was getting, and I forgot I had this. I wanted to show this guy to you guys. Look at these little lip crystals. Should I put these on today? I don't think so, because I don't want to go on someone else's show looking like all bizarre. But I think next time when I'm doing my own show, I'll put on these lip crystals. I got them on clearance from Mac. I don't know if you put them like that. See, it's kind of subtle. I'll do it for myself. I don't want to mess up somebody else's show, but I forgot I had these. Now, what irks me, this guy talked about what irked him. What irks me about the People's Party is they keep calling themselves a new major party. You're not a major party. You're a minor party, dude. You got to go through the ranks like everybody else. And it irked you that you had to check off minor party. That's what you are. Your ambitions may be to be more, but holy crap, people, deal with reality. And Duck Speaker, you don't have, okay, I'm the typical provincial American that is utterly and shamefully ignorant about what goes on in other countries. So you do not, I don't know what the gun laws are in Canada. To be absolutely honest, I'm just confessing to you my ignorance. So you can't have armed protests in Canada from what I'm understanding from your comment. Let me put your comment up because if I can get my mouse over here, because I think American listeners would be interested in this. Did it come up there? Yeah. Because it doesn't even occur to me that you can't have that in Canada. Because again, I'm not saying this. I think it's shameful how ignorant most of Americans, like myself, are of politics in other countries. I might know politics here very well, but I don't know the politics of the two bordering countries, Mexico and Canada, which I should.
Because that's what our intention is. We want to replace the major parties here in Florida and be the majority party here in Florida. And that's one of the reasons that we affiliated, in our bylaws, it says that we tend to affiliate ourselves with the national party. A national party that we could all pool our resources together and go forward from there.
Okay, so he's talking about how they're going to affiliate with the National Party. Now, what's interesting of what's going on is very similar to what happened with the LP. You might think it's odd that there's a state with ballot access, and I'm cleaning my glasses, before there's actually an official national party. They have a national organizing committee right now, but not a national party. They don't even have a national chair yet. And I think we all know that Nick Brana, that guy, is going to be the national chair. I mean, he's already basically the king. And Mac says, I'm Euro. Okay. Are you Euro, Mac? I know absolutely nothing about European politics. I mean, I know a bit about England, and that's about it. Get the next one.
And register to the People's Party, because that's what it will take to be a member of this party. I want to clarify something for identification purposes. We've been calling ourselves Florida People's Party, but the name is going to be People's Party, just that. Meaning we all stand together as one nationwide party.
That's not how it works. And I see that I'm breaking up. I'm sorry if you guys are getting a bit choppy, because it looks choppy here. And the Speaker of the Duck says you cannot own any weapon of any kind with the intent of using it for the purpose of self-defense. Wow. And I think I know that, actually. I saw when Blair White was interviewing that person who was suing Yaniv, Jessica Yaniv, who pulled a taser on stream and ended up getting in trouble for that. And I thought that was so strange. Okay. I'm sorry if it's a bit choppy.
Thank you, Victor. And thank you for all that important info. I just wanted to let everyone know that we are hosting statewide webinar meetings over the next several weeks on Fridays for folks who have more than an interest in just changing their party affiliation. Look to your email for an invitation. The Florida People's Party will not build on its own. Despite our best wishes, it requires individuals who are dedicated to get people in office and represent us, the people. You can go to the national website, peoplesparty.org, to view our draft platform positions, and Florida members will be able to adopt those platforms, change them, or add additional planks to the up-and-coming Florida Assembly Convention. But you can't vote for that if you aren't an active Florida People's Party member. And an active member who is one who is in good standing and has adopted the People's Party as their affiliation on their Florida voter registration.
Okay, and that was the vice chair. And that's all I'm going to cover tonight. That was the big news. I do have some additional clips, but I'm saving them for another day because I am getting ready for Liberty Late Night. And I got to eat something beforehand because I'm feeling a bit ravenous. So that will be it for tonight. Maybe I'll do another Get Ready With Me for tomorrow. I'm hoping tomorrow to be able to do that special broadcast talking again about the way that anarchism was brought into full acceptance within the Libertarian Party, the Dallas Accord issues, the Statement of Principles. That's kind of my wheelhouse. So I did, and I had a patron request for that. My $25 a month patrons get to request a topic a month. So that is a topic requested by Daniel Lutz. I've been working on it, and I hope to do it tomorrow. There's an awful lot going on. I'm still preparing documents for my Judicial Committee defense. My Judicial Committee hearing is set for October 17th. And also, if you guys have not heard, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, I officially start on the air at, in Colorado, 1360 KHNC in Weld County. That show will also be called The Pink Flame of Liberty. It will be a companion to my YouTube channel, but it is definitely something, a step up, like to be on actual radio. And who knows, that might be a stepping stone to bigger things and a wider audience. And of course, I will be continuing to call out the horrible LNC we have right now and to call for a Reno reset, because the future for the Libertarian Party is bright. We're in a dark stage right now. It's always darkest before dawn, and dawn is coming in Reno. I absolutely believe it. You all need to make plans to be a delegate in your state. Speaking of that, I will be doing like a special little advertising segment that will tell you what states that I need state whips for if you are interested in working on my campaign, if you believe in the work that I do. All right, everyone, please subscribe, like, and share, and I will see you all soon. And if you can tune in to Liberty Late Night, please do. And I will see you guys soon. So let me just find my closing sequence. Here we go. Bye-bye. I love you all.
Given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians or choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a